Hello guys, how are you doing today? It's Thursday here. What was my life like in the Philippines? Or what was it like when I first got there? How did I deal with living in a different culture for a year and a half? Well, it was extremely interesting. It wasn't what I expected. Like the very first time going to Manila for a couple of weeks, second time I visited my wife. We were in a place getting food, a lot of people, Makate. There was bands on the stage, and they were playing like 70s and 80s music, and I didn't know what to expect. I expected something extremely different. Very talented folks. Good music, I had a good time, and the food was great. Of course, my wife kept asking me, "Do you want some rice? Do you want some rice?" But it was nice to hang out with her, and then the long 8 months before she got her K1 visa to come here before we got married. But then living there for a year and a half, or a year and 4 months, whatever it was. It was also during COVID time, so there was a lot of lockdowns, a lot of checks, like when you're driving somewhere, you got to get out, wipe your feet. If the guards come to you, they actually check your seatbelts, even though it's not really required. Car seats weren't required either. But a total different ball game. Driving, I didn't think I'd want to drive after I saw what it was like. Yeah, what it was like when I was getting a ride with someone in Valencia, Quezon, Bukidnon area. Plus, they're working on the road, big giant potholes, motorcycles everywhere. That was insane. I'm like, there's no way I'm buying a car. A couple weeks go by and we bought a Star X. That's a van, if you guys don't know what that is. And I got used to the driving really quick, and the Star X was a 4-speed or 5-speed diesel, and a lot of diesel vehicles there. So I got used to pulling up to there's no red lights, at least, and not in that area. And people don't care; they just drive. When there's a space to drive, you just go. When you pull up, like here you can't turn right, can't drive on the right side. You pull up to stop, there's like 20 motorcycles trying to pass you. So that was something different. And I don't drive a motorcycle. I rode in the back of my wife. She has her motorcycle there. And then she just drove her motorcycle around the barangay in our province. But the meeting people, like when I was in the city, and I already knew to look out, like there'd be a bunch of kids following me, asking for money or trying to sell me wallets or belts. And I already knew to check, make sure somebody wasn't trying to go in my pocket. But living there for that amount of time, getting used to my wife's parents and how they do things, and my wife's mother constantly taking the baby out of my hands. You're holding the baby, they come take the baby from you. I'm like, what are you doing? But men are different, well, here too, there's not many men who stand up to their responsibilities. That took some getting used to. I even tried to sweep the floor one time. Jess's mother took the broom out of my hand. Or you know how when you take your shoes off before you go in the house, I take my shoes off. She comes and puts them back on me. I guess she wanted me to wear my shoes in her house. I don't know. Little bitty things that are different. A lot of dogs on the street. And when we lived in one place, well, where our house is, you have to get rid of your own trash. You burn it. Then her dad would take other stuff somewhere and dump it. I'm not sure where, but then you feed the scraps to the dogs. But turns out that's not a bad thing, because those dogs are sitting out in front of your house all night, and when somebody walks by, they bark and they let you know there's somebody out there. So it has its advantages to feeding the dogs the scraps. And, where we live, the MPA was up in the hills, but they're not too bad from years ago, from what my wife says. But never any problems. People come down out of the mountains to sell calabasa, different things like that, different vegetables. And we lived in Malibali for a little bit. Guys were working on a house subdivision. None of them were smiling, and you wonder, why do they have on headbands and big coats? That's because it's hot. It keeps the sun off of them. That was weird to me. But they weren't smiling, nothing. A couple times we bought them Panda Cell and something to drink, Coke. And they were all smiling. They got Budots playing. Doo, 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 doo. And I'm dancing along, and they finally cracked a smile. Good guys, though, hard workers. And the hardest part was living in a province next to my mother and father-in-law and dealing with them, constantly calling my wife. Yang, Yang, that's my wife's nickname. And it's a blessing to have that property my father-in-law gave to his daughter. But when we go back this time, we have our subdivision home that we should be getting the keys to that pretty soon in Valencia. So the house we built, we'll only be there on the weekends probably. I didn't really get to see much beaches, but we're going to be staying in Davao probably until we figure out things and go back to our home on the weekends. Some of you guys don't understand that. Well, that's okay. We have our reasons. But we're pretty much fed up with here, the prices and everything in America. There's something, always got to do something here. Just ridiculous every other day. My wife says, I want you to be happy and relax, and you're retired. Okay. Can't find a babysitter here cheap. I could use the help, but it keeps me going, keeps me moving. And remember, guys, it's a different culture. Things are done differently. Don't ask stupid questions. Just listen and try to learn the language, whether it's Bisaya, Tagalog, or depends on what part of the country you're staying in. Have respect, follow their laws. And things are cheaper, but be careful. You can spend more money because you think you're spending less, but next thing you know, you're going to $300 or $400 really easy. And when you're hiring a helper or, carpenters or something, don't overpay. I had that problem. I was always like, here's 1,000 pesos to my wife's sister or friends. Stayed with us a few times. And she's just like, no, give 100 pesos, give 200 pesos. And I want to give 500. So I blew a lot of money there and I didn't need to. But you learn the hard way. Man, this coffee kind of sucks. Anyways, I think my daughter's still awake. She probably hears me in here talking. That's just a few of the things I experienced while I was there. And of course, it was during COVID time, so always mask, Anyways, guys, that's just a few things. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Welcome to new subscribers, celebrating 5,000 subs now. And please subscribe to our channel here, Claude and Jessica living in the Philippines. And wish us luck to our move back to the Philippines next year. Peace.